Don't buy that property yet. Today, we are going to talk about due diligence as it relates to real estate investment and also take time to dissect various aspects of due diligence. What is due diligence? When you hear due diligence in real estate, what is basically being referred to is the process of you checking to know whether this property that you are buying is it actually worth the stress? Is it actually worth investing in? There are many types of due diligence, but the two type of due diligence that are very, very common and also local in our real estate sector in Nigeria is what we call liquid due diligence and also traditional due diligence. The liquid due diligence is when you take the document, this property that you are about to buy, there are available information which could point towards whether this property is okay or this property is not okay. There are information, documentary evidence that one can rely on to conduct this due diligence. Is either the power of attorney of this property is registered, is either the survey plan of this property is registered, is either this property has a deed which has been registered. What you need to do is to take this document, go to the appropriate government agencies, chat them, conduct a search on them to verify whether they are really genuine or not. Under the legal due diligence, they are also of two types. We have what we call the legal search, and we also have what we call the window search. The window search is is an unconventional way of checking whether a property is genuine or not. What you need to do when you are doing a window search is to have a contact, someone who works in the Ministry of Land, for instance, or someone who works at the Surveyor General's house. What you need to do is just to take this document and you give to this person to check whether this property is actually registered. But you are not entitled to any a physical document as to regards the search. The barest minimum that you will be given is maybe a kind of assurance that look, from the search that I have conducted on this property, it is okay or it is not okay. But there are loopholes, there are fundamental issues with this type of search. The disadvantage of this type of search is that if eventually something comes up tomorrow and the property happens to be false or not okay, you cannot rely on the information of someone working in a Ministry of Land or maybe in other government parastatals to fight for your rights. Another type of legal diligence is the land search. Official land search is a type of search in which you officially write to the Minister of Land or Commissioner of Land, depending on the one that is applicable in your location, seeking the permission of the commissioner to conduct a search on whether a property is okay or not. The commissioner will return right with respect to the approval and the prescribed fee is paid. So when the result of this search is documented and the result of them, they are issued to you through what we call a certified true copy. The importance of this is that tomorrow, if there is any problem that comes or you want to go to court to fight for a right over a property, you will have a document to tender that yes, this is the result of the search. You see, the difference between a legal land search and the window aspect of the legal search is that you cannot rely on a window search to fight for anything. You cannot rely on it to do anything. It's just a word of assurance, it's just a word of mouth given to you unofficially by people who work in the Ministry of Land. But a legal land search is a type that you write a letter to the Commissioner of Land indicating your interest to conduct a search over a piece of property or properties as the case may be. And upon the approval of the Commissioner, a certain fee or a certain regulatory fee is paid by you. And the result of this search is given to you in documents. It becomes a documentary evidence you can rely on to do whatever you want to do. Traditional search is another beautiful way of knowing whether a property is okay or not. In this type of search, it's a search that requires you trying to know the culture. Property ownership has been a thing of issue from time. And in fact, when God created the world, you could vividly tell that the first thing He did was separating the land from the water. He separated the land from the water. That is to show you that land has been as old as creation itself. So the local search is by you, the person who tries to buy this property, going to the village to try to know what is the cultural history of this property. Who and who owns this property? What is the genealogy? How did this property come to be? The villagers, how did this property transfer from one person to the other until it gets to the hand of the person that you want to buy it from? In this kind of search, you do this kind of search by going to the family, speaking to the elders, speaking to the traditional rulers who will help you know whether this property you are about to buy is actually okay or not. Now that we have discussed the vital elements or different types of due diligence, that is the legal due diligence and the traditional due diligence, which of these two approaches, the traditional or the legal aspect of it, which of them do you think is the most effective? For me, I feel like a combination of the two, depending on the kind of property one wants to acquire, is what makes the difference. Whatever works for you, let me know on the comment section.